it out. We're in Mondello today for the ultimate experience. Today we're going to try them all. We're going to get into the Fiat Abarth, we're going to get into the BMW, we're going to get into the Ferrari F430. We may even do a drift experience. It's something I haven't done before. Very excited to have a look at what Mondello have on offer. First up, you jump into the Abarth, and during your track laps the instructors give you pointers on how to brake, how to accelerate, the braking points on the track, what gear you should be in, and just basic safety rules as well. While the BMW M240i's are performance enhanced cars, they're not specifically set up for the Mondello track. They still have a 0 to 60 time of 4.1 seconds and 374 brake horsepower. After you've taken these lovely BMWs out on track, you get into the F430. This beauty has 490 brake horsepower, it gets from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, and it has 343 pounds per foot of torque. So whether you think you're a pro or not, it really is best to listen to the guys and take all of their constructive input on board. They're really trying to help you get around the track as quickly and as smoothly as possible.
So all we need to do is a slight turn in on the steering. Okay. Second thing is clutch to the floor, make sure you hold it. And then pull the handbrake. Handbrake's tough, so make sure you pull it as hard as possible. As soon as you pull the handbrake, then let go of the steering wheel. Clutch, handbrake, release. Let go, nice and easy. Then once we got top of the hill then, you add a lot more power. And it's all down to a pulsing technique. I like the pulsing technique because you have a lot more control over the car. So turn in, clutch, handbrake, let go steer, now power. Power, 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 more power, more power. Okay, easy does it now again. Turn in, clutch, handbrake, let go steer. That's an easy power. Turn more, clutch, handbrake. Now power, 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 go, 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 more power, go, 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 go. Yes! Brilliant! Good job! Remember that last section?
Yeah.
Stay on the power.
Yeah.
Push that little bit more. That was awesome. Okay, a little bit more speed. Okay, turn in, clutch, handbrake, power, easy.
As you can see, it was a huge amount of fun trying the drift experience for the very first time, and you know what, these lads can take my money any day. I genuinely could have spent all day learning how to drift, but next best thing was calling, and the Ferrari F430 had my name on it. As much as I'd love to have stayed on track all day long, I just don't have it in me. I don't have the talent of either Denning or Kelsey Kirby, both of whom I met and asked about how they got started into motorsport. Alex, how are you? How are you getting on?
Brilliant, yeah, great to have you down here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us today. I'd like to know a little bit about how you got started.
Well, I started racing at the age of 8 in karts. Both my parents, my mother and father, raced down in Mondello, and it was always kind of inevitable that I was going to start racing from a young age. So I raced karts for 10 years in Ireland and internationally away in places like Le Mans, and then moved into cars, won in Ireland, won the UK last year, won the Motorsport Ireland Young Driver of the Year last year, and now I'm currently racing in GT4 Europe for McLaren.
Wow, that's insane. Did you ever think you'd reach these crazy heights, or?
No, it was like in like the way I look at it when I was racing karts, it was like someone playing golf, tennis or football. It was only when I started to win and beat people in Ireland that I said, you know, I might have a chance of making a career out of this.
And how did you find when you went internationally? What was the competition like? Was it much different?
Yeah, definitely a step up. Like moving from Ireland in 2020 to over to the UK in 2022 was a massive step up. But it just more so refined me as a driver, and then going from the UK to Europe was another step up again. But it's a challenge that I definitely welcomed, and it made me a better driver. So yeah, I took all the goodness out of it.
What about the States? Would you try there?
It's something I did look at last year, and just the way my career path was going and the contacts I had within racing in Europe, Europe ticked more boxes for me in the end. The whole thing in Germany and in the UK, it's so popular, and people start off at such a young age they're so refined when they get to 20s, whereas I feel it's a little bit more backwards in that sense in the States.
Right. So they're a lot older and less experienced and a bit more raw, perhaps. By the time they start.
If you spoke to someone 15 years ago, the level in the States was seen as a lot lower, and it was nearly a loophole in the market for Europeans wanting to make a career in motor racing. Like anything with globalization, I suppose, going to the days of going to the States to do a kind of in the back door job are gone. So I think they're closely coming together.
And what's one of the best events you've been to? That you can either as a spectator or you've been on track.
The Spa 24-hour racing this year. It was, from coming from racing in Ireland 4 years ago to being at a 24-hour race at Spa with 100,000 plus spectators and the best Formula 1 track in the world was a childhood dream come true, to say the least. We did a parade where the drivers got to drive the race cars, and I'm sitting in a McLaren driving into the city of Spa. I couldn't comprehend it. I didn't take the smile off my face all week.
I'd say it took a long time to recover from that.
Yeah, definitely back into normality on the Monday morning.
Yeah, same as the rest of us. Alex, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
and following hotly on Alex's heels is Kelsey Kirby. She's a driving instructor and part-time race car driver, and you can get to meet her if you're lucky enough down in Mondello. How did you get started into motorsport?
Yeah, so my name is Kelsey Kirby. I'm 26, and I actually only started in motorsport about 2 years ago. So I had never seen a racetrack before until about 3 years ago. I actually came out to Mondello as a customer, and I did one of the experience days. So I did. I came out and I drove all of the cars out on track, and I remember turning around to my instructor and I said, how do I do this for the rest of my life? This is what I want to do. And then from that I kind of worked day and night working towards getting my race license, getting a car to go racing, and that was kind of like a big turning point. I was working full time as a barista and a waitress, and after a couple of months then I got my first race car. I did my first few races, and Mondello liked what I was doing as well. So I started off working as a driving instructor for some of their driving trails then as well, and I've kind of worked my way up then as well. So in the last 2 years I've been racing in the Siltech Safety Fiesta Z-Tech Championship. So there's normally about 36 or 37 cars on the grid with us at any one time, so we kind of take up the whole main straight of the track, so we're all piling into the first corner at the same time. It's chaos, but it's so much fun. But I'm racing against a lot of men who have about 20 years race experience, and men who have big companies and stuff like that. So to be a woman in motorsport, kind of making my own name and making my way through the sport as well, it's a great feeling. So I'm getting like top 10 and top 8 finishes against guys who have a lot of experience, which is a big confidence boost and kind of sets me up nicely now for next year, and hopefully I can be a front runner in the championship.
And are you still self-funding yourself, or are you getting sponsorship deals, or is that a lot of work that has to go on in the background as well as your race days?
Yeah, so it's a lot of work that goes on in the background. I've had some amazing sponsors on board. So for the year just gone, I had Galway Bay Brewery, I had Dooley Motors in Carlow, I had Ken Keegan, who's an amazing photographer. So he does all of my photography for the year, which means all of my sponsors get amazing posts and shoots and everything like that of their logos and media coverage as well. But a lot of the sport, it is very expensive, so I kind of work as many days as I possibly can to then, if I do need to buy something else, I'm partially self-funded as well. So I am kind of working now towards getting a budget for 2024.
So if anyone's out there would like to do a good sponsorship deal, please get in touch.
That would be great.
I'm sure she'd appreciate it. All leads and everything really
yes.
You're going that way, you really need to, and it's a lot of work, that goes on in the background to do that. It might look like a lot of fun,
yes,
on the race days,
yes.
But the amount of effort and time and tiredness and energy that it even takes to get to that point.
Yeah, because for like my team is pretty much myself and my dad working on my car, and then I'd have my mum out on race weekends as well, helping out as much as she can. So it's not like I'm running with a team who have, I just show up and I drive. I show up and I have to work on the car. We work on the car on weekends, we work on the car on nights. It's like a sport of blood, sweat and tears, but the kind of reward at the end of it when you get the results is like a feeling that I've never had before. Like, it's amazing.
That's fantastic. So it all just started on a driving experience here in Mondello, and then you knew straight away, this is it. This is what I want to do.
Literally that one day kind of changed everything.
And have you been to Europe at all, or the UK?
I raced up north last year, and that was the first time I'd ever gotten a podium. I got 2 podiums up in Down at Bishop's Court Racetrack, but then I did a track day over in Bedford before. But I don't have the kind of funding to be able to go abroad and start racing abroad yet. So maybe in the next couple of years that's what I'm aiming for. But a couple of track days abroad would be an amazing experience.
Yeah, just to get to know the tracks a little bit better before you hit them for real.
Yes, exactly.
That was brilliant. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. Best of luck.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Unlike Alex and Kelsey, I had to leave the track there for the day. Well, I enjoyed my few hours as it was, and I'd like to thank Mondello for inviting me down. Having had fun in the Abarth, the M240i, and of course the very raw and very mechanical Ferrari F430, I had an incredible day.